My son gave his wife an STD from cheating, then demanded a paternity test when she filed for divorce, so I demanded one too and moved out when my wife defended him, but now they're both mad I only left him 10% in my will. Posted by you/Open Mobile 2057. I, 55M, have 3 children. 2 girls and a boy. My son is my oldest, and up until recently, I thought he was a decent man. Unfortunately, my daughter-in-law Tessa, 32F, showed me that I was wrong when she revealed to me that the reason she was divorcing my son was because he cheated on her multiple times and gave her an STD. She made a social media post with pictures of text messages and showed video recordings of messages he left proving her side. I was shocked, and when I confronted my son, he said that she was over-exaggerating and that the only reason he did it was because she wasn't putting out. Tessa gave birth to their second child 7 months ago, and their first child is 3 years old. I apologized to Tessa for my son's behavior and then yelled at him for being so selfish, intentionally hurtful, and cruel. I did not hide or downplay my disappointment and was only silenced by my wife's defense of our son. I remember how hard it was when my wife had our second daughter and couldn't believe she didn't have a shred of sympathy for Tessa. Tessa is a sweet and smart person, and she didn't deserve what our son did. My wife has been letting our son stay in our house despite my wishes, saying that he needs our support, but I say he's in need of a hard lesson. We fought about this constantly. Eventually, my son accused Tessa of getting the STD from someone else and demanded a paternity test. I knew these claims were nonsense and saw red. I yelled at him for it, and his mother came to his defense and told me a man had every right to know if his kids were his. I countered with demanding a test of my own, and my wife was offended, and I moved out. She and my son sent others after me and either lied and overplayed what things were like at home, and I just got tired of defending myself. I was going to let things be until either my wife or son contacted my job and made hurtful accusations about a female employee that I've been mentoring for the past year, and that's when I snapped. I'm filing for divorce. The house is paid off, so I'm willing to let her have it, but until a judge says so, I've stopped putting money in any of the accounts that she has access to and only make payments to the credit card with a $4,000 limit so she has money to buy groceries, get gas, and pay for her other expenses. I've also changed my main beneficiaries to my daughters and told my son if he wanted a single cent of my money, he'd have to take a DNA test. He later did and he passed, and I responded with an email acknowledgement that he was my son as well as a copy of my re-updated will where he will receive 10% of my assets. My wife and son are demanding a public apology, but I don't feel like they deserve it. Edit to add, just to be clear since people seem to be skipping over it, but my wife called my job and accused one of my mentees of getting special treatment in exchange for special favors from me and other men in the company. She made such a big public stink that HR is investigating, and my mentee is considering leaving due to the embarrassment and stress. Not to mention the damage to my own professional relationship. Relevant comments. Ops response on the $4,000 limit. I can't speak for everyone, but when I applied for that credit card, I specifically asked for that limit and was granted it. It's mostly used for utilities, HOA fees, and paying the people who cut our yard through automatic payments. Ops response on the situation: his wife has caused at his workplace. I didn't say it in the post, but my wife viciously went over a nice young woman in my company that I've been mentoring for the past year. We've always kept a professional relationship that I was always open with my wife about, and she made the choice to go after, accusing her of getting special treatment from me and other men in exchange for favors. There's an active investigation at HR because of how public my wife has decided to be, and some people are starting to believe it. I spent decades building up my professional reputation, and my wife chose to destroy it. I can't stay married to that. My wife openly accused a young woman that I've been mentoring for the past year of trading favors in exchange for special favors from me and other men in the company. HR has been contacted, and I've heard from others that the situation has caused my mentee to cry as well as consider quitting. Not to mention damaging my own reputation. Commenter 1, is it just me or did she like 100% cheat on Op before? Op's response, I did have to go on a lot of road trips in the beginning of my career. Commenter 2 on Op shouldn't give up the house if he was to divorce. Op's response, I honestly never really loved the house and wanted to move anyway. Plus, if she sold it, she could live off of that money, which might mean less money I'd have to pay to her later on. Op's response to a downvoted comment on giving a low blow to his wife and son, and taking his Dill's side instead. I want to be a man who has a son that he can be proud of. I can't speak for others, but cheating on your wife and giving her an STD and then accusing her of the immoral behavior that you're doing is nothing to be proud of. Being family doesn't mean you have to stand by them when they're so blatantly wrong, at least for me. Commenter 3, now that he's proven, he's your son, leave the money to his children. Op's response, I'm leaving my son something because I told him I would if he was proven to be my son. I don't know the specifics, but if I leave him something, then he can't legally challenge my will. I am going to leave my grandchild something. It's just taking a minute to see what my options are because I want to put it in a trust that neither parent can touch. Not because I don't trust their mom, but because I want to remove the stress and drama of her having to be in charge of it. Commenter 4, Op didn't make social media posts. The Dill did because her husband was cheating on her and gave her an STD. Op didn't make things public. His wife and son did when they told other people lies about him and contacted his employer. I think asking for a paternity test was a bit over the top, but the wife and son sound like two awful peas in a pod. Don't blame you for divorcing her. They are both jerks. Hopefully you can maintain a good relationship with your dill and your grandchildren. Commenter 5, the dill did because her husband was cheating on her and gave her an STD. We don't know who gave who an STD because Op never said anything about the test results of the kid. Op's response, my son admitted to cheating. In text messages and voice messages that my daughter-in-law posted on social media and to my face during one of our arguments. Update, 29 days later. Because I still see a few people writing updating, I thought I'd give a little update to the chaos that is my life. In short, the young woman who I was mentoring talked to HR, is leaving the company, and will be suing my wife for defamation. I am also being pushed to leave, despite HR clearing me of any wrongdoing. A lot of people in the office just give me dirty looks, keep their distance, or both. I've also gotten a lawyer. She feels confident that because of the evidence of my wife's blatant attempt to sabotage my reputation at work, I can just give her a lump settlement instead of alimony. My lawyer also agrees with a lot of you in regards to not just giving my wife the house, but rather selling it and splitting the profits. I'm back in the house for now per my lawyer's advice, and it's pretty miserable right now. Definitely drinking a lot more than I used to, just trying to hang on. I've also had some hard but honest conversations with my daughters, and I have come to accept that there are certain aspects of fatherhood that I failed in. I did show up to school events and spend time with my children, but overall, I let my wife do the majority of the parenting, and she favored our son. I just never really paid much attention, and my daughters didn't feel as if they could talk until now. However, they're still willing to have a relationship with me and are on my side with the divorce. I haven't spoken to my daughter-in-law much, but she did send me a thank you text for standing up for her. Thanks for reading. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, good news is it's not too late to try and heal the relationship with your daughters and be an involved grandparent. I'm betting this isn't the way you plan things to be, but I think you can make things better than they were. Talk to your daughters, and Dill, and ask them if there's anything you can do to become a better grandparent. Commenter 2, can't believe your wife rang your place of work and sabotaged you. What a cow. Your colleagues shouldn't be privy to that, as HR should have kept it quiet until an investigation was done. Don't get pushed out. You did nothing wrong, and the gossip will die down. Definitely get half the house in your divorce. Your wife doesn't deserve to keep it. Your son is a spoiled brat. Feel sorry for your daughter-in-law. Commenter 3, quit drinking and spend more time with your daughters. Instead of wallowing in drinks, start rebuilding your relationship with them. Let that occupy your time and energy. Glad to hear you got a good lawyer. Document what is happening at work and consult an employment lawyer too. Commenter 4, try to get the mentee to hold off her lawsuit until the property is divided. Otherwise, the award will come out of the combined joint assets, and you will lose money from your share. If she waits, you will get your share, and the award will come directly from her assets.